And the final species is the crocker Hypsilophodon. Yes, I can't deny it. Everybody, including myself, wanted Hypsilophodon. No, we wanted a crocodile. We wanted it's called Wetlands. It was giving Floridian vibes. And that is the final of the 3 species coming to the Wetlands Pack. That being Irritator, Ostroraptor, and Hypsilophodon. We've got a medium to big, large sort of carnivore, a small to medium carnivore being Ostroraptor, even though it's apparently 6 meters long. I think a comment told me that in the last video. And we have Hypsilophodon. Now, there isn't really much to say about Hypsilophodon, but there is, because I've got the notes here from the event that I attended. And they had this to say in terms of Hypsilophodon. Apparently it's good at avoiding being predated on. In other words, it's good at avoiding being killed. Which is interesting, because I don't think anything in its size bracket, that being a Dryosaur, a Homalocephale, or anything like that, has ever been good at avoiding being eaten. Don't know why they said that. I feel like it was just, we've got nothing else to say, we'll just say it. That's my personal opinion. But this is the next thing. So they said that if you look at the patterns, they took influence from poison dart frogs. Now, poison dart frogs in the wild have these bright colors that scream, stay away, and venomous. And that's exactly why, because if you eat it, you will die. So it avoids this neutral death of the both of them, the predator and the prey. Now, I was thinking that might be a good idea, right? As a mechanic, maybe that's why. Maybe a carnivore eats one, gets sick. If it survives, it decides to no longer eat Hypsilophodon. I think that's a great way to work in a mechanic. However, I don't think they thought that through. I think what they've done is, but poison dart frogs are cool looking. We'll use those as colors. That's it. I mean, that would make sense, right? Like a little bit of mechanic, a little bit extra code would make it a little bit different to a Homalocephale or a Dryosaurus. But another thing they said, of course, one of the reasons why Hypsilophodon isn't just a random sort of nefarious herbivore, is that it is technically canon to an extent. In the Lost World novel, on that square island where I did my ecosystem, Hypsilophodon is there. It is listed as one of the dinosaurs, and it's only in the novel. Nowhere else in the franchise I think it exists. Possibly Jurassic Park novel. I'm not sure. But the fact that it's there means that, when I was making my series, I had to use Dryosaurs as stand-ins for Hypsilophodon, and pretty much they do the same thing, right? However, now, if you want to recreate the novel, Lost World, you have a canon dinosaur to put in there. I really think that they should put in the poison mechanic of it, whether a dinosaur eats it, dies of poisoning, or whether it survives and learns that no longer to eat those. That would be a great thing. They also went on to say that the adult females lose comfort if the herd is suffering, meaning that they're a very herd-focused species. If the herd is suffering, then the females will be uncomfortable. I would have thought if the herd's suffering, they would suffer as well, but especially the females are suffering. And one last thing, they do have something different to the carnivores, they're part of the dinosaur encounter species, meaning that, that thing that you never place in any of your parks. Or at least I didn't do it in any of the other ones because it was just such a faff on. But you can have them go in there and they can be part of the encounters. Now, I don't know if it's just babies or if it's them, but they are part of that. So that is something as well. And there you have it. We haven't got the price yet, but if we look at the pack as a whole, and that's pretty much what this video is, you get 3 species. You get a semi-aquatic, you get the Ostroraptor, which is a pack hunter, very social, and unfortunately it doesn't swim. I feel like it should swim. And then you have the Hypsilophodon, which I think should have the poison mechanic, but I don't think it's going to be in there. I'll eat my own hat if it is in there from launch, but I don't think it will be. I don't wear a hat, so it's a win-win. Anyway, you also get the Swamp Brush, which is in the free update, giving you the fog. And, in the pay DLC, you get the houses and this terrain, the scenery, that sort of thing, which is really good. And let's not even we forgot to mention, we are getting a free species, which I still can't even speculate on under embargoes. We are getting 3 species in the DLC, the Wetlands DLC, which will cost money. And then even if you don't buy the DLC, you get this new species of dinosaur, or, well, it's a species of dinosaur for free, as well as a brush, the trees, and the fog thing. If you want, I think if we look back, we could kind of speculate the pricing wise. If we just look at previous DLCs, I think it's not going to be on par with something that gives you a whole map. It's not, it's not going to be that expensive, I would imagine. Where like the Biosyn, for instance, you got like a whole campaign, you got a whole new map with the fog and everything and new species. I think save that sort of price tag for the Rebirth one, right? I think when Rebirth DLC happens, fingers crossed, we'll get the D-Rex, you'll get Mutodons, which maybe can fly. That would be interesting. And you'll get a whole new map. You might even just get the island. You might get, I was going to say Manticore, but that's Chaos Theory. You might get, is a Centaur. And the giant, not Argentinosaurus, Patagotitans, whatever they're called. But as far as this DLC goes, I think it's quite strong as the first one. The first DLC we normally get for Jurassic World Evolution games isn't the strongest, It's not the one we're kind of wanting. It's not a carnival pack or something like that. But the fact that you get scenery items, you get a cool brush, you get a free species, and then you get 3 new species, which are very different to each other. And trees, I think it's solid. It's not perfect. Because if you were to say Wetlands, to me, as somebody who's put in 300 odd hours into Jurassic World Evolution 3 so far, I would imagine Wetlands would be, some returning creatures that I'd like to see. But I would, crocodile, the Dinosaurs. We've got semi-aquatics. I think that we will get Deinosuchus or Purasuchus or Sarcosuchus eventually. Somewhere along the line, we are going to get giant crocodiles. And I think a rework to the deep water. I think if you're going to make the crocodiles, you need to rework the deep water. They need to attack each other in the deep water, and a crocodile would need to lay an ambush, just waiting for something to line up, and then it could shoot out, drag it, and take it back in. That's what I would like to see. Ranking these dinosaurs: Irritator, Osteoraptor, Hypsilophodon, in the order that they were sort of showcased. The Hypsilophodon is probably going to be the most disappointing. Not saying it's disappointing, but out of all of them, if it doesn't have that poison mechanic, it's just a reskinned Dryo Homalo, right? Like, that's what it feels like. I mean, without saying, I would buy the DLC because, of course, I play this game if it was a business expense anyway. But generally, Frontier are a great company that have proven themselves time and time again by now making almost the perfect Jurassic World Evolution game. It took them 3 games, but eventually we are almost to a state where it can't get too much better, right? We've got dinosaur breeding, we've got sexual dimorphism, we've got swimming dinosaurs. All that really needs the rework is lagoons, so that you can have, lagoons and land dinosaurs interact with each other, so they're not just separate like a fish tank. And aviaries need something so you can actually make terrain aviaries, make bigger aviaries. They've earned my purchase of the Wetlands Pack 100% because of what they've done, allowing, especially with the workshop, allowing people to share their own things. We don't really need the Nexus website anymore for mods and console players. Let's not forget that you console players out there now have access to sharing and downloading things which you couldn't do before, which is a phenomenal step in the right direction for Frontier to take, that they're not just favoring PC gamers over anyone else. What is interesting, I saw when I mentioned about how the dinosaurs coming to this game don't feel Jurassic. Like, Ornithomimus doesn't feel Jurassic. The Osteoraptor doesn't feel Jurassic. The Utahraptor doesn't technically feel Jurassic. Though they are the strongest dinosaur designs, but they're not Jurassic. At the same time, you can choose whether to have this natural-looking park or to go scaly and pointy bits, that is Jurassic franchise. I like that is the option, but it is interesting that it doesn't really feel Jurassic-y. So I think if you're a hardcore Jurassic fan, you might not want to get this one, because apart from Hypsilophodon that sort of features in, Lost World novel, there's nothing in here that is screaming, "Ooh, I need that," because it's in the Jurassic franchise. I think if you're a dinosaur general fan and you support Frontier and you like paleontologically accurate stuff, it's a win-win, really is. But as far as like, ooh, does it have that, that T-Rex variant 5? Tarbosaur, T-Rex, they all look the same. Dilophosaur even looks like a mini T-Rex with its head that's got massive jaws. But yeah, anyway, I'll not take any more of your time. You can make informed decisions. There are other people as well, of course, that do this stuff. My bread and butter is not the news per se. It's more focusing on entertainment, I suppose. So I'm going to get doing that. But I felt I would be amiss if I didn't, let you guys know that this was happening. And we don't know how much this is going to cost, but as soon as we do, don't worry. I'll let you know, and you'll know. Trust me. So if you enjoyed this video, guys, do all your shenanigans, leave the like, whatever, and I'll see you guys later. Oh, bye-bye.